Well, we've been a bit lax lately because there's been so many different things happening, including me going away to the south of France for 10 days to see my mate John Champ. So Tanya's made various videos and they're all going to go on YouTube. And I really feel we need an explanation of what was going on, because if I don't tell you what was going on, it'd be blooming hard for you to work out what was going on. But anyway, so we go to Cop Hill with the Hall & Scott Peugeot, and we towed it behind the Alvis Grey Lady, which was quite a thing really, because the people just loved it. Obviously an old car towing another old car. Previous to this, we'd had problems with the oil pressure, which I think we've made a video about. So we're a little bit delicate on the oil pressure game. You know, if it's got no oil pressure, I notice it pretty quick. So we get to Cop Hill, we take it off the trailer. Susie Pilkington comes along, the girl is into Ferraris, and we set off to go up the hill. I look at the oil pressure gauge, no oil pressure. Oh dear. Immediately I think, well, something has gone wrong. No oil pressure. So that was it really. I couldn't go up the hill because obviously with no oil pressure it'd all go wrong. 3 people had paid into charities to have a ride with me, which I feel really bad about, but I'm sure we can make that up somehow or other next year. So that was it. But at the same time, there was a Ferrari meeting up in Belgravia. And I couldn't go to that. I said, no, I can't go because I'm at Cop Hill. But obviously with no oil pressure, I could have gone to the place in London with the Ferraris. So that's what I did. I mean, a lot of people might say that I preferred to go to the Ferraris and that's why we had no oil pressure, but I promise you, we had no oil pressure. So we brought the Hall & Scott back here after the weekend. John took the radiator off, the dry sump pump, all again, and looked at it all, nothing wrong with it. So we're really scratching our heads, put it all back together again, started the car up, no oil pressure. Well, it never comes up instantly because obviously it's got to do a bit of circulating. So we sat there for a little while with it ticking over and the oil pressure did not come up. So what's wrong? I mean, we know everything was perfect. So I leant forward and I went bonk onto the oil pressure gauge and it went boom. Now that has never happened before. We've had no oil pressure before, but we've never had a stuck oil gauge before. Obviously, there was nothing wrong with it. And if I'd have given the old thing a bonk at Cop Hill, we probably would have carried on and not done the Ferrari meeting. But anyway, you'll see the meeting. We went up to London, to Belgravia, and we did the Ferrari run. And we came back in the Ferrari and we parked it over the thing in... They gave us a special place at Cop Hill for putting the Ferraris. In other words, it was an absolute total failure. So that was that. So now we got the Welsh trial. And Jeremy Jones, my mate's coming with me, and he works out where we got to go. We have to go scrutineering, and then we have to go somewhere else. A right load of aggravation, really, because, you know, compared to going racing, it was hard. But anyway, so we get up into Wales, book in the hotel. We drive the little car about 50 or 60 miles on the road, going from here, there and everywhere. Get to the very, very first. Prior to this, though, on the road, the clutch is slipping. Oh, dear. And then the clutch is all right for a little while. And then it slips again. So I think, oh, dear. But let's keep going. Anyway, we got to the first hill, and we did the first section of the first hill, and the drive completely failed, nothing at all. So obviously I didn't really know what was wrong with it, but there's no chance of going on. So we loaded the car up, brought it home, took it to bits the next day. That was on the Monday. And what had happened was the drive shaft, where the pinion goes on, for somehow or other it had come done. Now, we didn't put a keyway in it because I'm a great believer in you can leave keyways out. But obviously it didn't work. But looking at it, what had happened was the nut that held it on was bottoming. And although it was going tight, it wasn't really tight. And obviously, if it had slipped, the nut would have just tightened up. But it couldn't tighten up because it had bottomed. Anyway, so that's the problem with that. So anyway, we fixed that now, and we're putting it back in the car. And then, obviously, we're looking forward to the next trial. Now, I can't remember when it is, but that'll be something to sort out next week with Mary. Because we're entered for, I think it's the Derbyshire or something like that. So that's the next thing. So anyway, a load of aggravation. My family all come to Cophill, so you'll see my granddaughter, and then you'll see my great-granddaughter. And it was good. It was a lovely weekend, and Tanya made a fabulous film of what was going on. And to be honest, now I've seen the film, I was a bit lazy, really, because I had this oil pressure on my mind. I looked at the Morgan Freewheeler and said, oh yes, that's got a 60-degree jap. Well, I could have said it's a three-speeder and it's a barrel back, and I mean, I know all about Morgan Freewheelers because I've had loads of them. But anyway, I was a bit lazy there, but it's still a good video due to Tanya. I don't think Mr. Putin looks at shed racing, but he ought to, really, because I've known Tanya for a few months now. She's just had her winter clothes come from Ukraine. And I tell you what, you're never going to beat that lot. You might as well give up now, because as far as I can see, the bit of time I've spent with Tanya, who comes from Ukraine, they ain't going to beat them. So, there we are. I hope Mr. Putin will have a look at shed racing, and then he can take my advice, and that'll save the world, and we'll all have a much nicer life. Don't forget to subscribe, and good luck to everybody. Next thing is going to be Christmas.
Mind, apparently.
Oh, darling, let me... Oh, that's better. Yeah, that's it. I can get away with it more. Here we are at Cophill, 5 to 8 in the morning, so I've been getting up a bit early, but anyway, they're starting to arrive. Hickey's here, the Fiat's here. Span the camera around, Tanya, because this will be so crowded later on, it'll be quite interesting for people to see, what it's like before it all starts. Anyway, so I'm now going to unload the old Hall and Scott, and here we are. See you later. Better and better.
Got bigger.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, mine's
break
going.
anything.
They'd love to see this on YouTube. Hey, you'll be on YouTube, look at it. The crew. Oh, you signed on?
Yeah. I can see an Austin Healey, Triumph, Caterham, Lotus Cortina.
Oh dear.
So I've got all this trouble.
Oh, well, there's a great
That's good, isn't it? I'll tell you a story behind that. I was in France, in the south of France,
Well, here we go.
and I walked into this museum and that was hanging on the wall. And I said to them, oh, I've got to have that. And I wound up giving him €100 for it, which I think was very
But don't
good.
forget to look round
But it is a real
all the stands
on the end
here,
there is the sculptor's
down in the
name.
paddock area.
And I
There's a
looked
lot
up on the
here,
internet and
and it's not too crowded at the moment.
And if you look at the cap on there and you look at it, you'd swear he totally stole it off this car. It's absolutely perfect, like, you know. So that was it. That's the story.
What a story.
Yeah. And I've had so much fun with it.
Yeah.
You know, because if that was real, it'd be £10 million. But it's been you know.
Lots of other things.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've got 20. I've got a Lotus 7, 250 Ferrari, Frog Eyes, Sebring Sprite, a Donny ZL. Oh, now.
Had this for a long time?
No, I made it.
What?
Yeah, I made it. It's
You
not.
made it?
It's not a real car. What happened was I bought that engine at Bewley, and I thought, well, I've got to put it inside the Peugeot, and it's pretty accurate.
Yeah?
But I made it all.
So you made the chassis as well?
Yeah, but it's original chassis. It is a proper original chassis, but members meeting.
I know.
But anyway, that is this car. Let's see what we can find. That's a spare engine I bought in America. And just pushed it together because I wanted to have all that lovely original seat. Because I mean, you can't fake that, can you?
Definitely not. No.
So, was the bodywork part of that wide one or not?
Yes.
Oh, was
Yeah,
it?
it was just been taken off an old thing, you know.
They've gone up. We'll see what else is turning up.
This is a man who's come up to us and said, we're not boring at all, and Tanya makes very good videos. So we thought this was very good feedback, so we're putting this on our video channel at some stage. I don't think he's here, you know. There's a Morgan there, look. I used to have one of them. A Morgan three-wheeler. Good little car. That's a 60-degree jab.
We've got the Willie Overland 6 model 93 right.
V8 engine.
Fuel pump. Because I've been running at 810.
Good old thing, that. Have a look at the motorbikes. Right, it's a very good motorbike, yeah. Bella set, that's a good motorbike.
The overflow pipe it's supposed to go down the back. They did.
supercharged.